James is going to do something here.
Yeah, I've done this once before, but I'm adding a new song to it. I want to deconstruct a couple of Stooges songs for you. Because, you know, the diatonic music scale only has really, you know, 7 notes in it. It's the, you know, like Sound of Music, right? And that's not a lot of notes. And so then you got the pentatonic scale, which is, you know, the rock and blues scale. You know, you're just, you know, there's 5 notes in that. And that's what most people use. And so, you know, the chances of you reusing somebody else's notes are pretty high. And in fact, the chances of them reusing somebody before you is very high too. So it's kind of a funny, you know, thing. How do you make a riff? You know, it's like, how do you make one that's interesting? Because they've all, you know, they're all using the same 5 notes. And it's all the little nuanced stuff. And then there's also the sort of influences that you may not even be like aware of or conscious of when you do it. So I just thought I'd break a couple of them out for you just to give you an idea. So how many of you know the song Shake Appeal from Raw Power? Pretty good, pretty good. So, you know, it goes. Right? So I figured I'm going through that and going. And I figured I just happened to play this instead of this. And that's like, that's not even a whole note, that's a half step. And all of a sudden I understand it. It's that's the theme from The Lone Ranger. So I'm like going, okay, well, you know, that's like going to an analyst for 5 years and he tells you, you love your mother. I know I love my mother. You know, I love The Lone Ranger. But, you know, so I didn't realize 40 years later I would grow up and rip off The Lone Ranger, you know. But the thing is that turns out he ripped off Rossini from the William Tell Overture. So that all works out. That's okay. And then on Search and Destroy, I had a couple of revelations. You know, that song was written in the Vietnam War era, and the genesis of that really was that I was in rehearsal with the other guys. And, you know, when you're in a band, you have to entertain each other. And so I sort of was screwing around like a machine gun and was going, you know, like to the guys. And they kind of liked it. And so I thought, well, okay, I'll work that up a little bit. So I came up with the, wait a minute. Right, so that's Search and Destroy. And so in doing these exercises, I started thinking, well, wait a minute. So this part, you know, it's kind of like. And I'm like, well, okay, I was influenced by surf music. You know, I'll admit it. And so then I started playing the, you know, piece, and I'm going, okay, let me transpose for ease of demonstration. So then I'm going. good. And then I went on and really got to the root of the origins of Search and Destroy, and that's that the rhythm. It's the rhythm many times that distinguishes things. And so I came up with, you know, well, guess what? That's a conga line dance. So you're going like, right? So I just leave you with this. The origin of Search and Destroy, the anthem of punk rock, is the bunny hop.
All right. So that's all the time we have. Sorry we couldn't get to some more questions, but we got to hear the bunny hop. So James Williamson, Buzz Osborne, IEEE, thank you.